Celtic kilt culture, it is Joe, and I'm back finally after a long break. Got some new kilts in yesterday via mail. If you're not part of our Facebook group, it is also called Celtic Kilt Culture, and you can find us right there on Facebook. We'd love for you to join. I went live in there yesterday and unboxed it, but I wanted to do a review for the channel so you guys can see what's going on too. Those of you who are not in the Facebook group, please join our group, Celtic Kilt Culture, on Facebook. There is no drama there. We are not like another culture kilt thing where there's a lot of drama and a lot of backstabbing and talking. Anyway, I'm just going to go over this with you real quick. These are two new polyviscose kilts, advertised as 8 yards, which I won't say for sure whether they are or not. They may be. I don't think they're quite 8-yard kilts, but they're made in the style of 8-yard kilts, so we'll talk about that. But they're sold by Atlanta Kilts, and they're made by Gallic Themes in Scotland, in the United Kingdom. There you go, Atlanta Kilts. If you're in the United States, you cannot obviously order direct from Gallic Themes. They sell products to a lot of retailers and vendors. And this right here is how you could get in contact with Atlanta Kilts. I just ordered these online. The website's very easy to order from. So they do rentals in their local area in Georgia. Which is thus the name Atlanta Kilts. They are in a, suburban area of Atlanta. And there you go. This is the first one I got, Holyrood. It's a beautiful tartan I've been looking at for a long time. The PV kilts are, obviously the polyviscose is the UK woven Martin Mills polyviscose fabric. Okay. And it is incredible. It's 11 ounces as opposed to your heavier, your wool is usually like a 13 ounce or a 16 ounce. Sometimes, other some things like that it's made. I think Martin Mills polyviscose, I think, is 11 ounce. It's either 11 or 12. But it's these are really made kilt. And in my opinion, these are the best budget kilt available. These run $199.99. And there are select tartans, which is basically the catalog they get from Martin Mills with the tartans that are available that can be made in these kilts. But like I said, this is less expensive than our kilt maker in Pennsylvania who makes the semi-traditional kilt. This is a superior kilt in my opinion, in just my opinion, because of the construction of it and the overall build of it, and the fact that there is scalloping and lining, and it is done, like I said, there's actually more yardage here. A semi-traditional from that company, I believe, is somewhere in the 4 to 5 yard range. This is actually more fabric than that, I can guarantee you. I would say it's at least a 6 to 8 yard kilt, more likely the 6 to 7 yard range. But let's take a look at it. It's a little wrinkled because they came folded up, and I do need to hit it with the steamer or maybe an iron to get that out. The other kilt I'll actually show you in a minute is less wrinkled than this, but it doesn't matter. All right, so there you go. It's marked for me right there with the item number and Holyrood and my name and the waist. You got two very thick, high-quality leather straps on there. I'm going to open this up, and boom, that's what makes this better already. Less expensive, and it's lined with a proper kit liner. Now, in the front, it's not sewn down to the fabric, nor does it really need to be. Same thing over here, you see the liner. There's your kilt maker right there, Gallic Themes. And here's your tag displaying that this is a machine washable polyviscose. This is the same exact polyviscose material that, that company in Pennsylvania is able to make kilts with too. Here's where there's likely some scalloping done because this is all sewn down. Now, maybe there's not scalloping. Maybe I'm fooling myself that this is really a 5 yard kilt. I don't know. It's advertised as 8 yards. The pleats are, like you can see, pretty deep there. Actually, let's see if I had a tape measure handy, I could show you exactly about what that is. So you can kind of gauge there. That's probably 3 to 4 inch depth in the pleat right there, very deep. And they're all that deep in here. This is pleated to the set, so every pleat is pretty even and everything. There you go, fully lined kilt. Really well made. It is machine sewn. At this price point, you will not get a hand sewn kilt. You're just not going to do it. $200 is extremely inexpensive for a kilt in general. And these are very nice for what you pay for them. I highly recommend it. Now, the reason it's all clumped together, the basting stitch is still in it. I have not removed that yet, but I will coming up here in just a few minutes once I am done with the video. I want to show you how it comes. There's your basting stitch across there holding everything together. They just come folded up in a nice box, and they're both in the box. And that was fine with me. There's your pleats all sewn down there. Again, top sewn, machine sewn. Nothing surprising there. These are about probably, this is, I'm pretty sure, there's no way it could be an 8-yard kilt. These are about 1-inch pleats. Again, don't have a tape measure in front of me, unfortunately. But these are about 1-inch pleats, which is pretty standard for a 5-yard kilt. So not sure why they have a sewn down apron in the back if there's no scalloping, because it's very possible. I'm not going to tear these kilts apart to find out. And even at a 5-yard kilt at $200, $200 USD, $199.99, plus the extra money I spent to get the matching tartan flashes. I'm not going to complain even if it's 5 yards. Not sure why they're advertised as 8-yard kilts, but just know, beautiful kilt, worth every dollar, not probably an actual 8-yard kilt, because with an 8-yard kilt, you're going to get usually smaller pleats than what you're seeing here. These pleats look like the same as like on my 5-yard wool. So still a very impressive kilt. Let's move this one over to the side. Let's move the other one in. This is the other one I got. This tartan is gray granite. This is another popular tartan. Now, why are these tartans the one that Martin Mills is currently making in polyviscose? Well, these are the tartans that are most popular in Scotland, in the United Kingdom for that matter, right now. That's why they're only making some in polyviscose. Now, you can pretty much get anything woven in polyviscose, but you will pay for it. For instance, if you're allergic to wool, right? You have bad reaction to it. You cannot wear wool kilts, but you want to wear kilts. This is kind of where you got to go. And if you want like your family's tartan, you're going to have to pay, because they don't, you know, usually it's all universal tartans. So it's the biggest clans, Stuart, you know, and so on and so forth. The biggest Highland clans will be represented in tartans here, not your average clan. But I highly recommend, if you're an American or anybody for that matter, don't get hung up on family tartans. There's so many beautiful tartans out there to enjoy. You can represent your heritage and your ancestry without having to worry about wearing the tartan that goes for your clan or your family name. It's really nonsense. Anyway, this is a great one. This is a super popular tartan in the United Kingdom right now, gray granite. For those that know, they know, in the United Kingdom right now, the gray colored tartans like this are the most popular, like, wedding kilt tartans right now. These are by large, and even the Holyrood is a grayish blue kind of base tartan. There's gray in that one. So these are some of the more popular tartans that are being sold right now. That's why your family doesn't have a tartan in it, and most families don't, because they're not gonna carry, you know, small clans. It's just not the way it is. All right, well, let's take a look at this, and same build and construction, everything like that, except one difference, and I'll show you that in a minute. There's a tag right there, same thing, my waist, gray granite, my name. Same thing, your two thick, nice quality leather kilt straps. There's your lining, your liner, one under there again on this beautiful tartan. In case you hang your kilts this way, there's that. Another leather strap, more beautiful material here. Let's open this bad boy up. And there it is. Gallic Themes, same thing, another tag, although they placed it differently here, saying this is your polyviscose material. It says dry clean only. It's machine washable. But if you like to dry clean, okay? So fully lined again, not sewn down there, sewn down in the back, which indicates there is scalloping, although, again, can't promise you that there is or not. If Atlanta Kilts, if an representative from Atlanta Kilts or Gallic Themes sees this, hit us back and let us know, because I really don't see this being an actual 8-yard kilt. It's a fantastic kilt. Again, if it's 5 yards, again, I'll pay $200 for these all day long, because that's a bargain price for a 5-yard polyviscose kilt anyway that's this well made. Let's flip this thing over again. Again, we're talking about this gray granite tartan kilt that I had pleated to the stripe, actually, to the white stripe. Tried that out, and I love it. Look at this, guys. Did something unique with this. As you can see, pleated to the white stripe on this. They did an amazing job getting this right. Really getting this constructed well. There's your straps and buckles, of course. There's your buckles. There's your belt loops for your kilt belt. Basting stitch, as you saw before, keeping everything together, properly shipping. You'll see coming up, I have a couple of wool kilts on order too, a 5-yard and an 8-yard that are going to be made in Scotland. Now, those are not made by Gallic Themes, I don't think, because I ordered them through UT Kilts, and they go through the actual mill builds the kilts, I think, and they buy them directly from the mill. So that's going to be interesting too when I get those. But for now, these are the two I got here, the gray granite, and I threw this over here, but that's the Holy Rood. 2 new polyviscose kilts from Atlanta Kilts. Again, stay tuned to the channel. We'll take, again, I say this all the time. If you're looking for the best budget kilt, and to me a budget kilt is, you know, any kilt that's a fraction of a cost. And for anybody that has an 8-yard bespoke kilt that paid over, you know, $1,000 to $1,500 USD for it, you understand $200 for a kilt is an absolute bargain. So you've seen my other videos. If you see it in my on the channel here, I've got other videos where I show the sub $100 kilts that I have. But this to me is the best budget kilt overall. I have 3 of them in total now. And if you're looking to get into kilt wearing, you've never worn before, but you want to do it, this is where I would recommend you start at. AtlantaKilts.com. It's the polyviscose. My fear is, though, because again, these may be like a 5 to 6 yard kilt based off the maybe a full 6 yards or something like that, again, unless Gallic Themes can correct me. I don't see this being a proper like 8-yard kilt. But again, super deep pleats and everything, really well made. Again, they're about 1 inch apart, which to me reminds me more of a 5-yard kilt. But again, it does seem that there may be some scalloping done, so it's just hard to say, guys. But if you're going into it knowing that it's possible that the one advertised as 5 yards may be like a 4-yard kilt because it's only $20 cheaper or so, and that this is more likely the 5-yard, I would recommend getting this one, the one that says 8-yard, and expecting what I got here, about a 5-yard kilt. For $200 USD, again, a lot cheaper than that company in Pennsylvania's semi-traditional kilt, and to me, better made, with full liner and everything, made in the more traditional sense, made in the traditional Scottish machine sewn way that they usually make kilts. So, guys, again, thanks a lot for tuning into this, and make sure if you're new to subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Celtic Kilt Culture.